Good evening everyone. Today we learn something about the effect of exercise on surface electromyography in human muscles and what are the effect of exercise actually in human muscles. Okay. So now if you go through the what are the electromyography is, the surface electromyography or ACMG is one of the most reliable technique for the studying neuromuscular activation. Okay, and it's also known that valuable technique for studying human movement, evaluating in scientific training which enhance the force mechanisms involved in neuromuscular physiology and neuromuscular disorder. And it's also known the science supported research. There is various types of research is also elaborate the importance of electromyography in the field of exercise and rehabilitation science. Okay, and there is a lots of data collection procedure over there for the testing of the muscles, and you can also test the muscular condition of an athlete, of an patient, of an individual. Okay, and here basically it's work on the skeletal muscles. Okay, because skeletal muscle is striated muscle, that's why we can voluntarily contraction by the muscles. Okay, so that's why we can get the actual analysis of those particular muscles. Okay, right now actually what actually EMG analysis is, and EMG analysis is nothing but there is a various types of parameter we can measure. Okay, EMG analysis, by the EMG analysis we can get the various types of data, like what actually muscles condition. Okay, and what are the muscles like now right now going on, it is the good muscle structure, is the bad muscle structure, and there is a various type of disease occur on this or not. Okay, so here electromyographical analysis we can get the various types of parameters. Okay, as an amplitude, even in this case the peak amplitude, root mean square amplitude, mean absolute value amplitude, mean frequency, baseline, onset and offset timing. Okay, so in this case we have to require lots of tool. That tool is known as the electromyographical equipments or tools like ROM, like you can you can arrange, you have to arrange leads, and you have to arrange these type of cathodes. Okay, so those are the equipment. Okay, and here what are the exercise protocol, you can do the exercise protocol by the maximum voluntary contraction. Okay, by the maximum voluntary contraction we can get a actual peak, actual spike of those particular graphs. Okay, and here we can discuss, we can know what actually peak EMG or maximum amplitude. In case we can read throughout and we have to study through these particular graphs. Okay, in this particular graphs above, in this particular graph we have to discuss what actually it is. Okay, if muscle is contraction, this is graphical representation like this, and these graphical representation represent the highest electrical activity which recording the muscular contraction during the muscular contraction. If you contract your muscle, then you can get this one. Okay, and here you can analyze your muscles, what kind of amplitudes, what kind of peak EMG you can exhaust by the forces. Okay, and EMG during the acute exercise due to the greater neuromuscular recruitment. Why it's happen? If someone has the more muscle fiber, if someone has less muscle fiber, if someone has a greater exercise protocol and someone has a not greater exercise protocol, and there is a kind of thing that increase during acute exercise. When you are doing acute exercises, then it is increased. Okay, why it is increased? Due to the neuromuscular recruitment, higher neuromuscular recruitment, and also higher in maximum and explosive contraction. Okay, we show that there is a various type of gym person, and a gym person can their muscles contraction highly. Okay, explosively, and maximum, if you contract the maximum forces of your muscle, then you can highest amplitude, and which mean the highest electrical activity you can exhaust. It may decrease during a prolonged fatigue, and it also may be the decrease if you simultaneously do this type of activity in same manner, in same condition. Okay, so that's why fatigue is one of the most factor for decreasing the decreasing the highest EMG amplitude. Okay, by the EMG, at least we can say in last, that is the peak EMG amplitude can achieve the highest electrical activity. Okay. Okay, in case what is the RMS, root mean square amplitude? Root mean square nothing but the same thing. Okay, same thing, but it represent a statistical measure. Okay, which quantify the average electrical activity of a muscles in a single overtime. In a single time it quantify the average electrical activity. Here is a two point. In this 2 point, what are the average electrical activity muscles work done? Okay, muscle by done. So in this case we have to concentrate on those things, that as the exercise increases, the EMG will increase. If exercise increase, the EMG also increase due to the motor unit recruitment and the increasing firing rates. Okay, and EMG signal, root mean square signal, actually measure the average activity of the muscles. And man, what is the MAV? MAV means the mean absolute value. In the mean absolute value, what we have to do? And the mean absolute value, it is a time domain EMG parameter that represent the average of the absolute value of the EMG signal over a given in time period. In a time period, what kind of activity is done by the muscles. Okay, and here you can see carefully see the RMS and MAB is the same, but MAB is a square. RMS is a square of MAB. Okay, RMS is square of MAB. That's why it actually what is represent? It is the represent the average and absolute value that EMG over a single period of time. Okay, and exercise increases, the MAB will increase due to the more motor unit recruitment. Here is the only one lots of factor going over there, but here is the only one factor is the same, like what is this? And this is also known as the motor unit recruitment. If motor unit recruitment and firing rate is higher, then your muscles is also performance is higher. Okay, and electrical activity will also be higher. And decrease the same work load. If you decrease the same work load, then improve efficiency. Because what going on those things, if decrease the workload, then it known as the you are dealing the less fatigue. Okay, and less fatigue is the performance, it increase the performance of the muscles. Okay, and if you mean frequency, if you go to the mean frequency nothing but the domain of EMG parameters that represent an average frequency of a particular spectrum of the EMG signal, and it reflects the how power of EMG signal is distributed across the different frequencies. And frequency, we know that what actually frequency is. Frequency, the how many time occurs in a particular schedule. Okay, in a particular task. And there is lots of spike is given there, lots of numerous spike is given there. And in numerous spike is actually can evaluate by the mean frequency, okay, and indicates the muscle fiber conduction velocity. We know that muscle fiber conduction velocity can calculate by the mean frequencies. Okay, which reflect the motor unit firing rates. It's also decrease the motor unit firing. As the fatigue increase, the MAB will decrease. If fatigue will increase, the MAB will increase. To slower motor unit firing rate, and if is the MAB higher, then it represents the faster conduction velocity or less fatigue. Okay, and what actually baseline is? The baseline of EMG refer to the electrical activity recording which the muscles is at the resting position, and it is the refer the level against which EMG activity is compared. And what actual baseline is, there is a line where start the electromyographical activity. Okay. If baseline is stable, then you can consider the muscle is stable. Okay, muscle is healthy. If baseline are not stable, then you can consider muscle is not healthy. Okay. And onset, what is the onset timing? It is the onset timing is the exact moment when muscle activity being, means from the baseline muscle should be active during the contraction, and where muscle should be active, what is the actual time, what is the actual time to start muscles. Okay, that is the baseline. That is the onset, and it reflects the neuromuscular activation speed and motor unit requirement timing. Okay, and what is the, in regular exercise, what actually it is the, what actually affect in by the regular exercise. In the first, the onset will occur in the muscles due to the neuromuscular readinesses and increase the nerve conduction velocity, nerve conduction. Okay, and in this offset velocity, offset nothing but you can consider that is the baseline where muscle is start, actually it is known as the onset, and where muscle is stop the work, or stop the work and becoming their baseline, that is also when muscle is stop the work and becoming the baseline, that is the onset baseline. This is the offset baseline. Offset timing is nothing but the time when muscle activity need end, like when the EMG return back to the baseline level after the contraction. Okay, so it reflects the EMG analysis falls below a threshold and indicates the muscles relaxation and neuromuscular control, and show a recovery after the contraction. Okay, by the regular exercises, a faster offset and delayed recovery will occur in the muscles due to the neuromuscular readinesses and increase the nerve conduction. Okay, that is all those things. In conclusion, I can say that the training programs increase in the proficiency, neuromuscular adaptation and condition, as well as the higher requirement percentage and excitability of the muscle member on action potential development and electromechanical coupling, and through which athlete attain the optimum level of sports performance. Okay, so in case what should I do if you want to the neuromuscular condition better of a muscles, or muscular hypertrophy is better of a muscles, or or performance of a muscle. So what we have to do? We have to do nothing but the exercise, giving the proper exercise and giving the scientific exercise by developing your muscles. Okay, after muscle is gain, after motor unit recruitment is also gain, firing rates also get increases, then muscle performance will also get increases. Okay, that is all about today's. Okay, after that we can consider the various factors of the EMG, various factor of muscle.